Flashbulbs hit your face like thrown gravel, and you can't blink fast enough to keep the light from sticking to the inside of your eyes. Your bare feet slap the cold concrete outside the salon. Someone shouts your name like they own it. Someone else laughs like you are a joke they paid to hear. The air smells like exhaust and stale perfume, and cheap camera plastic warming in hot hands. They call you America's sweetheart, but you can't even walk 10 steps without a wall of strangers deciding where your body is allowed to go. And you haven't seen anything yet, because the worst part isn't the cameras. The worst part is what happens when you try to be invisible. You push through the crowd anyway, because standing still is its own punishment. Your scalp stings under the buzzing clippers you just ran over your head, and the sting feels honest, pain that matches the moment. No costume, no extensions, no glue, no one tugging your hair like reins and telling you it's for the look. Just raw skin cooling in the night air, the tiny hairs lifting like you're becoming a different animal. But the honest moment lasts 3 seconds. A lens finds the new shape of you and drinks it. The crowd reacts like a single creature, an intake of breath, then a surge. Your security tries to widen around you, but they're not walls. They're men with arms, and arms have gaps. A stranger's hand brushes your shoulder, grabbing for proof you're real. You hear the shutter stutter, stutter, stutter. You feel your heartbeat answer in the same rhythm, and you understand the rule again. Your body is public property, and your privacy is a rumor. A few hours earlier, you were sitting in a car that never quite stops moving, because stopping means they can surround you. The windows are tinted, but you still see the shapes of faces pressed close, pale and eager in the glow of streetlights. You keep your sunglasses on even at night because your eyes are evidence. If you look tired, it's a headline. If you look angry, it's a headline. If you look calm, it's a headline about how you're pretending. They have a word for what they're doing. They call it coverage. Your phone keeps vibrating in your lap. Numbers you don't want to answer. People asking where you are. People telling you where you should be. You don't have one life. You have several lives stacked like paperwork. And every life has a person in charge of it. A manager, a publicist, a lawyer, a family member, a friend who's worried, a friend who wants to be seen worrying. Everyone has an opinion, and the opinions sound like orders. You try to remember when your life stopped belonging to you, but memory is slippery now. It feels like it happened slowly, then all at once. You were a kid with a microphone bigger than your hand. You learned early that applause is a kind of food. Adults smile when you perform, and adults get cold when you don't. You learn to keep the smile on, even when your cheeks hurt. You learn that being good means being useful. Then you grow up, and the rules change without warning. Suddenly, good means being pure and sexy at the same time. Suddenly, good means never sweating, never aging, never looking confused. You become a symbol people argue over, and the symbol is wearing your face. Now in 2007, you are supposed to be a woman in her mid-20s, but you feel like a whole century of expectations is sitting on your chest, and the contradictions don't stop at your skin. You are a mother. You are also a product. You are supposed to be nurturing, steady, domestic, wholesome. You are also supposed to be available, exciting, scandalous, consumable. The world wants you to be everything at once, and when you can't, it calls you broken like it's a verdict. 3 months earlier, you're holding a cup of coffee that tastes like burnt sugar and panic, and you're staring at a calendar that isn't really a calendar. It's a custody schedule. It's a list of days your children are yours and days they are not. Even the word yours feels fake on paper. The ink doesn't know what it's like to miss a child so hard you feel it in your teeth. You thought fame would buy you freedom. Instead, it buys you surveillance. You show up to a lawyer's office and the lobby is too quiet, the kind of quiet that makes your footsteps sound guilty. A receptionist smiles professionally, the smile of someone trained not to react to a person who gets photographed eating. You sit, you wait. You watch a TV in the corner playing entertainment news with the sound off, and your own face is on it. Your mouth is moving, but you can't hear what you said. Someone else is writing the story. In the hallway, you see another woman you recognize, a stylist, an assistant, someone from the machine. Her eyes are red, like she's been crying in a bathroom. She keeps her chin up anyway. When she passes you, she whispers without stopping. Don't trust anybody. The whisper lands heavier than any scream. That night, you try to go out because staying inside feels like suffocating. You put on a hoodie and think the fabric might make you less visible. It doesn't. Outside the restaurant, cameras pop the moment you step out of the car. The sound is like rain, except rain doesn't follow you. Inside, you sit under warm lights and try to chew while people stare like you're an exhibit. The food tastes like cardboard because your mouth is dry. Your hands shake when you lift the fork, and you know someone is zooming in on that shake, turning it into a diagnosis. A man at the next table leans toward his friend and says something you can't fully hear, but you catch your name and the word crazy. He laughs. His friend laughs. Their laughter slides under your skin. And then you notice the other rule. People don't just want your music, they want your collapse. Over time, you start measuring everything like a game you didn't agree to play. Hunger, sleep, trust. The tiny meter in your head labeled, "How bad will the headline be if I do this?" You count calories and flashbulbs in the same breath. You count how many people are in a room and how many exits it has, and the machine keeps tightening. One winter later, the air is sharp enough to cut, and you're in a parking lot with your children in the back seat. They're giggling, warm and alive, and for a moment, you feel like you've stepped into a normal life. You turn the key, ready to drive, ready to keep them safe. A knock hits the window. It's not a friendly knock. It's official. A man's face is there, serious, practiced. Behind him, more faces. You recognize the posture of authority, the posture that says, "We are not asking." Your stomach drops before you understand. Someone says something about the schedule. Someone says something about returning the children. Someone says something about compliance. You look at your kids and they look at you, confused, because they don't understand why grown-ups are suddenly tense. You try to smile anyway, because you are their mother and your job is to make the world feel safe. But your smile shakes at the edges. You feel trapped in a small box of glass and metal while the outside world watches. And then it happens. A word like unfit floats through the air, and it doesn't matter who said it. It sticks to you like tar. You can't scrape it off. You can't wash it out. It becomes a new label on your file. Later you hear the rumor that people are placing bets on how long you'll last. Your home stops feeling like home. It becomes a stage with too many entrances. People come in to help, and every time the door opens you feel your body tense, because you don't know if this person is here for you or for the story of you. In the kitchen, someone you thought was loyal tells you gently that maybe you should rest. Rest sounds like a kindness until you hear the edge in it. Rest sounds like being put away. You start seeing punishment without anyone touching you. It's in the way people talk to you, like you're fragile glass. It's in the way they talk about you, like you're a case study. It's in the way they talk around you, like you're not in the room. A witness moment comes quietly, like a door clicking shut. You're in a studio, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, and a dancer you've worked with for years makes a joke to break the tension. The joke is harmless. Everyone hears it. Everyone freezes anyway. A manager steps in, smile tight, and tells the dancer they're done here. Just like that. No argument. No second chance. The dancer's face drains of color as they realize they've been cut out of the machine for making you look human for half a second. You watch them pack their bag with trembling hands, and you think, if they can erase them that fast, what can they do to you? The next day, you're in a car again, because cars are the only places that move faster than the cameras, and even that's not always true. The driver keeps glancing at the rearview mirror. A line of vehicles follows. Not police, not exactly. A convoy of attention. You press your forehead to the cool glass and pretend the vibration of the road is soothing. It isn't. It's a drumbeat of inevitability. Then the system gives you a prize, not a real prize. A bait. Someone says there's a comeback waiting for you. A performance. A chance to show them. A way to turn the narrative. People say the word redemption like it's a contract you can sign. For the first time in weeks, you feel something like hope, because hope is what they use to keep you walking. You picture it. Lights, music, movement, the old language your body still speaks. You imagine stepping onto a stage and hearing the crowd roar for you, not at you. You imagine the roar washing the dirt off your name. But the hope comes with conditions. You have to be on time. You have to be thin enough. You have to be smiling enough. You have to be apologetic without admitting guilt. You have to be healthy in a way that photographs well. You have to let them decide what healthy looks like. And you have to do it while the world watches your every breath like it's a vote. After your first big rehearsal, you catch your reflection in a mirror in the hallway. Your eyes are rimmed with exhaustion. Your skin looks too tight over your cheekbones. Your scalp is growing in, soft fuzz like a newborn bird. You look both older and younger than you are, like stress has rearranged time. A woman in a headset passes you and says, too brightly, "You look great." Her eyes flick to your waist, then to your face, checking if you believed her. A punchline forms in your head, dry and bitter. Great is a costume now. The rehearsal itself is a blur of counts and corrections. Left, right, turn, smile, smile, smile. Your feet ache inside the shoes. Your throat is raw, but you keep moving because stopping would invite questions, and questions are knives. You make it through a full run, and for a moment you feel the old power. Your body remembers how to command a room. The music hits your ribs like a heartbeat you can control. Then you glance toward the edge of the stage and see them. Not fans, not friends. Suits and clipboards. People with lanyards. People watching you like inventory. The hope shifts shape. It becomes another leash. The following year isn't here yet, but you can feel it coming like thunder behind the hills. For now, it's still 2007, and the machine is hungry. Another witness moment finds you in a place you didn't expect. A quiet hallway outside a room where people are speaking softly. A young woman, maybe a nurse, maybe an assistant, stands with her back against the wall, eyes fixed on the floor. Her hands are clasped so tightly, her knuckles are white. She looks like she wants to disappear. A door opens. A man steps out with a folder tucked under his arm, and he's smiling like he just won something. Behind him, you hear a muffled sob. Not yours. Someone else's. Someone whose name won't be in the headline, but whose life is still being rearranged by paperwork. The man doesn't look back. He walks away with the folder. You understand the lesson. Suffering doesn't have to be loud to be official. Later you try to bargain with yourself. You tell yourself if you just behave, if you just cooperate, if you just give them what they want for a while, it will calm down. The cameras will get bored. The story will move on. But the story doesn't move on. It feeds on you because you keep giving it new blood. You hear how people talk about you on TV, not with concern, with fascination, with disgust that pretends to be concern. They ask what's wrong with you like you're a broken appliance. And you start doing the scariest thing. You start hearing their voices in your own head. You police your own face. You rehearse your own answers even when no one asked a question. You become your own guard dog because it's easier than being surprised. Over time, until one day, the line between your thoughts and their expectations gets thin. A third witness moment hits hard and fast. You're outside a building, trying to get inside, and the crowd is thick. A woman near the front is crying and shouting, not at you, but at the chaos. A photographer shoves forward and the woman stumbles. Her shoulder slams into a metal barrier. She yelps, pain flashing across her face. No one helps her. Not at first. The cameras don't turn away. The photographer doesn't apologize. The crowd doesn't soften. They just adjust their stance, like a school of fish changing direction. You watch the woman clutch her arm, stunned by how quickly people decided her pain was acceptable collateral. And you think, if they can treat a stranger like that just to get closer to you, what are you worth to them? You start to feel like a magnet for disaster. Wherever you go, something breaks. A door, a schedule, a person's patience, your own. The world starts talking about you as if you are a warning sign, as if your name is a lesson. This is what happens when a woman fails to be perfect. And you try to laugh at the absurdity sometimes, because if you don't, you'll drown. The laugh never quite reaches your chest. It stays in your throat like a cough. By the time you reach the night of the big performance, the air backstage is hot and stale, thick with hairspray and sweat and electricity. People brush past you with quick hands, adjusting straps, fixing makeup, checking microphones. No one asks how you are. They ask if you're ready. Ready is another word that means useful. Your costume feels like armor and exposure at once. It squeezes your ribs. It shines under the lights. It makes you look like the version of yourself they keep in their heads. You stand behind the curtain, hearing the crowd as a distant roar. For a second, the roar is familiar, comforting. You can almost pretend this is the old life. Then a voice in your ear, someone on comms, someone with a job to do, says something about timing, something about marks, something about don't improvise. Don't improvise. Don't be human. The curtain opens and the stage light hits you like a slap. The world becomes white and loud. You step forward because you have trained your body to step forward no matter what your mind is doing. You move, and the movement is almost right. Almost. Your muscles are there, but your spirit feels a second behind, watching from outside your skin. You hear the music, but it feels far away, like it's playing in another room. And you know, even while you're doing it, that the machine is already deciding what this means. Not she performed, not she survived another night, but she failed, or she's fine, or she's lying, or she's gone. Whatever sells. Afterward, people rush you with smiles that don't reach their eyes. They talk fast. Too fast, filling the air with interpretation so you don't have to. Someone says, it went great. Someone says, it's a disaster. Someone says, ignore them. Someone says, listen to us. You want to scream that you are standing right here, but you swallow it, because swallowing is what you've been trained to do. Months pass in a fog of appointments and headlines, of doors opening and closing, of hands guiding you by the elbow. You feel your autonomy shrinking in little ways. Someone else holds your keys. Someone else answers your phone. Someone else decides when you sleep, when you work, when you see your children, when you are allowed to be alone. And this is the devastating truth that finally lands with full weight. To the system, you're not fully a person. You are a problem to manage, a brand to protect, a cautionary tale to monetize. Your pain is not a tragedy. It is content. Your name becomes a file. Your body becomes evidence. Your mind becomes a public debate. You learn what it means to be famous and powerless at the same time. It's a throne made of cameras, and the cameras are always pointed at your throat. In quiet moments when the house is finally still, You sit on the edge of a bed and listen to the silence. The silence is not peace. It's just the absence of noise. Your scalp itches where the hair is coming back in. You scratch gently, almost tenderly, like you're petting a wounded animal. You think about your children's faces. You think about the way they smell like soap and warmth. You think about the version of yourself that used to laugh without calculating the consequences. You realize you have spent the year being watched so intensely that you almost forgot how to watch your own life from the inside, and yet you are still here. The world may call it a spectacle, but for you it is survival, minute by minute, breath by breath, under lights that never turn off. Power, you learn, is not applause. Power is privacy. Power is being allowed to fall apart without being turned into a product. And the final irony is this: they want you to be a fantasy, but all you ever needed was to be human.